You know, I feel like a diplomat. The only difference is that I'm doing it here online. Like I'm being a diplomat online. Now, in the previous video, we were talking about President Trump's Gaza peace plan, and I addressed the first point in my previous video, but I would like to address it again because there's something I need to add to it. So I have the 20 points of President Trump's Gaza peace plan open here in front of me. Point 1 says Gaza will be a de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Now, as I said, I did address this first point in my previous video, but something I want to add to it that, Israel, and if not Israel itself, but let's say Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, and him being a threat to his neighbors, like the Palestinians, obviously, but looking at his actions in the recent past and how he has done airstrikes on other Middle Eastern countries like Lebanon, and the Hezbollah there, airstrikes on Hezbollah there, and then Syria, Yemen, but he made President Trump do the airstrikes on the Houthis in Yemen. So, and then of course, Israel had done airstrikes on Iran. And then Israel, or Prime Minister Netanyahu, made President Trump do airstrikes on Iran as well, on Iranian nuclear sites, on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. And then Israel did a recent airstrike on Qatar. Right, that was the one on Hamas leadership in Qatar. So what are we looking at here? Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, Qatar, and Iran so far. Which means what? Which means that the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, is a threat not only to the Palestinians, but also to other Middle Eastern countries. Now, what are we going to do about that threat that PM Netanyahu poses not only to the Palestinians, but also to other Middle Eastern countries in the Middle East? Or the threat that Netanyahu poses to the Middle East as well as the Palestinians? Who's going to do anything about that? Now that's point 1 on Trump's Gaza peace plan, which is really Netanyahu's Gaza peace plan. Point number 2 says Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. Really? And who has made the people of Gaza suffer. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. And who has made the Palestinians and the people of Gaza suffer? Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. And Churchill is saying that he is going to pay for all that suffering and death that he has caused to the Palestinian people and Gaza people. Yes, Winston Churchill's spirit energy is still here with me. And my partner too. And the Arcturians and God and Commander Ashtar. Yeah, they're all here. Okay. And the archangels. Yeah, the universe is here. The galaxy is here. Or the galaxies. The universe is here. Now, whoever won't understand that, then never mind. Then they won't understand that. They won't understand what I'm saying. It's all right, I guess. Right, let's move on to point 3. Point 3 says, if both sides agree to this proposal, the war will immediately end. And I'm getting from Winston Churchill, no, the war will not end, or the war will not immediately end. He's saying, no, the war will not end. And then point 3 goes on to say, Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed upon line to prepare for a hostage release. During this time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended and battle lines will remain frozen until conditions are met for the complete staged withdrawal. So for point 3, Churchill is saying this is only on paper. Netanyahu is saying this only on paper here. But this is not how things are going to go in real time. Or this is not how things are going to go in reality. Netanyahu is only saying this on paper. He's saying his true intentions are different from this. Now, point 4 says, within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting this agreement, all hostages, alive and deceased, will be returned. And again, it's a no to that. Churchill is saying this will not happen in reality. Churchill is saying Netanyahu will not release all hostages within 72 hours. He will not release all hostages. That's what Churchill is saying. He has no intentions to do that. He has no intentions to. Point 5 says, once all hostages are released, and well, that will not happen. And then it says, Israel will release 250 life sentence prisoners. And then Churchill is saying that will not happen either because Netanyahu considers them to be criminals. So why would he release criminals on life sentence or criminals who are serving a life sentence? He wouldn't release them either, is what Churchill is saying. I'm channeling him. I'm channeling his spirit energy. I'm channeling his energy. Okay, Churchill is saying that all of these concessions are only being given on paper here to deceive the world. And then point 5 goes on to say, plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after 7th of October 2023, including all women and children detained in that context. And Churchill is saying no, he will not release all these Gazans. He has no intentions to. And then point 5 says, for every Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. Now Churchill is saying, well, they're already dead, so what difference would that make? And I'm just thinking, I guess it'll make some difference to the families, but that's what Churchill is saying about that. That's 5 out of 20 points. That's enough for this one. I'll go through more in the next video. Take care, stay safe, over and out.